For the first time in history, Ohio State might have 4 players drafted in the top 10 of the first round of the NFL draft. Let's talk about it. And welcome to the Hot Seat of College Football Show. I am Trent, your host, as today we're going to be talking about the up-and-coming NFL draft as we, the Buckeyes, and the fans have something very special as we have the chance to witness, for the first time in history, 4 players from one team in one draft drafted in the top 10. So before we get into this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We just got to 200. We're trying to get to 1,000 before the beginning of next season. Also remember to like the show. It's free, it costs nothing, and shows that get likes get recommended to newcomers on YouTube way more than shows that don't. So please, it costs nothing. Do it now. It takes 2 seconds. Please like the show. And if you want to turn on the notification bell so you get a notification every single time I release a new video, you can also do that. That's a very optional option, but it's great. You'll be the first people on YouTube to see my videos if you want to do that, so that'd be awesome. But Ryan Day, winning national titles hard, but how he didn't win a Big Ten championship or one playoff game with this team and this defense is incredible. And the funniest part is the best player on this team is not even going to be in this draft. That's Jeremiah Smith. But man, the combine has came and went. Since the combine's over, I'm going to be doing a mock draft of the first round soon. I'll do one, and then I'll do another one right before the draft actually happens. I made an NFL combine video a couple months ago. And if it's in the channel, if you just look for NFL Combine, it has a picture of Arvell Reese on, you can go watch it. But I want to talk about these 4 players now individually, and then talk about where I think they can actually get drafted. And I want to talk about the guy, he actually might be the lowest drafted out of all of these 4, but had a generational combine, and that is Sonny Styles. My goodness, this man was he is the son of NFL and Ohio State legend. His brother Lorenzo also played at Ohio State. He also did very good at the combine, was one of the fastest players on the team. I think he ran a 4.27. But Sonny Styles, who is 6'4", 243 out of Pickerington, Ohio, an Ohio boy, ran a 4.46. And let me bring up some of his other stats, because his vertical, I think it was 43.5 inches, 43.5 inches. Here. Yeah. He ran a 4.46, and he's listed at 6'4". I think he's actually 6'5". 4.35 vertical, broad jump of 11.2, and his raw, or I think it's his raw athletic score, or his relative athletic score, was a 10. It was a perfect 10. And not only was it a perfect 10 at linebacker, it was a perfect 10 at safety, wide receiver, and cornerback. He is getting compared to Kyle Hamilton, who's a safety, Calvin Johnson, who is a wide receiver, Megatron, athletically, just because of his size. The fact that he is that big and that tall. I'm going to put a photo on the screen now of this one photo that was taken of him. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, I think Sonny is going to be great. He had 46 solo tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, 1 interception. The interception was on a tip against Illinois. He only missed 2 tackles. I think both of them were in that Miami game. So before coming into that Miami game, he either had only 1 missed tackle or 0 missed tackles for the entire year, which was incredible. But I definitely think he has gone from a top 15 pick to a top 10 pick. And a lot of people were talking about him going either 5 or 7 to the Giants or the Commanders. But I'm so excited to see where Sonny goes. He's Buckeye royalty, and he was phenomenal at Ohio State, but his combine was incredible. The next guy, and he's had a little bit of buzz recently, not good buzz, but Caleb Downs, the safety, the best safety prospect I think we have ever seen ever. Kyle Hamilton was always obviously up there, but Caleb Downs, he's been flagged with a partially maybe torn meniscus and a degenerative ACL. But then Pat McAfee came on into the situation. He goes, I talked to them. They said it wasn't real. So it's kind of up in the air. Maybe a little bit of it's real. Maybe it's exaggerated. Maybe it's not real at all. But either way, it does not sound like that's going to deter anybody from drafting him. He is a bona fide Hall of Fame safety. I guess we also did say that about Jeff Okudah, but I think Caleb Downs is so smart, so fast, so athletic at 6 foot 205. But I mean, yeah, he had 2 forced fumbles. He also, I wonder if these are counted towards, are these both in the Miami game? Because he did force 2 fumbles that were recovered, but he is great at putting his head where the ball is and forcing those fumbles. He had 2 interceptions, one against Grambling, and then one against, I don't even remember who was, and one against Penn State. Then the year before he had one against Texas and one against Michigan. But yeah, he is the best safety Ohio State has ever had. He is the smartest player I think of Ohio State has ever had. He's definitely up there. But man, his shoelace tackling is elite. I mean, it is elite. And he has gone from, well, he's the best safety. We know he's the best player in the draft. I don't care about Fernando. Overrated. He's overrated as hell. But Caleb Downs is the best player in the draft, but he's a safety, so maybe we'll draft him at 12 or 15. No, not anymore. Caleb Downs has risen. He didn't really work out at the draft, but he has risen because of his interviews. I think they might still be going on. And I wish we were able to see the NFL, the interviews, because that's actually the only part of the draft or the combine that we actually only care about. But I love Caleb Downs. I like him to probably go at the probably 9-10. There's always been a lot of buzz of him going to the Bengals, which I would love because I'm a Browns and Bengals fan, which I know that's not a popular opinion. I am Browns and Bengals just because I don't really care that much about the NFL. But I would love to see him go to help that defense. So at least one of the teams in Ohio can be good. I will say, man, if the Browns defense and the Bengals offense teamed up, that'd be one of the best teams in the NFL. But yeah, so Caleb Downs, I like him kind of the 9-10 range. But that will bring us to Arvell Reese, who is probably going to be the highest player drafted on this list. It's weird that Arvell Reese he also ran a 4.46 or 4.47. He's 6'4", 243, very much the same size as Sonny Styles, but another one of the Cleveland guys. But Sonny has had more talk. There's been more praise for Sonny than Arvell, but Arvell's going to be drafted higher. And the reason why is because he's an edge rusher. He is the next Micah Parsons. He's going to play that outside linebacker mainly up front. He's a great edge rusher. I don't know how good he is as an actual linebacker in pass coverage. Obviously, I think he's pretty decent. He's going to be the number 2 pick overall in the NFL. But he is violent. He is fast. He is aggressive. But he is more of an edge rusher than a linebacker, and I wonder if he'll be listed as like an outside linebacker edge rusher. Because, I mean, Jack Sawyer is more of the edge outside linebacker than like a Mike in the NFL. So I wonder if he'll have that full transition as he goes there. I would assume he would. I would not assume he's going to actually be playing fully linebacker or at least Mike in the NFL. He didn't really play that in college. But yeah, I definitely think Sonny is a better linebacker, but edge rushers in the NFL in the draft, they are gold. That is it's quarterbacks and edge rushers. Those are the 2 positions that get drafted the highest because of how much of a premium and how important they are. So yeah, Arvell, 34 tackles, 6.5 sacks, and no interceptions or no forced fumbles. He was really non-existent the second half of the year. Part of that was the schedule and the way Matt Patricia was using him, and then he didn't really rush him against Miami or Indiana. He kind of spied him a little bit, but he didn't really do anything in those games, and he didn't really start it all in 24. I mean, he had 300 snaps, over 300 snaps. But, I mean, really, we only had him for 6 games. He kind of was like he wasn't really here much before. He was here for half a season. He kind of didn't do anything else. We kind of forgot about him. And that's kind of what all his career at Ohio State was. Kind of like Malik Hooker. At least Malik Hooker played he was really a factor the whole year. He had a pick 6 against Michigan. But yeah, I like Arvell Reese. He's going to be a guy I'm not going to remember in 15. I mean, I will remember him, but I don't really have any personal feelings or interest really towards Arvell Reese. unlike Caleb and Sonny and Carnell, who that's actually the next guy I want to talk about. Carnell Tate had a, I would say he had a better year than we thought, but kind of the end of the year wasn't exactly how you envisioned it a little bit. Came into the year, it was amazing. He was like 11 and 12 on deep balls halfway through the year. 51 receptions, 875 yards, 9 touchdowns, 17.2 yards on average, which was more than Jeremiah. Not more than Jeremiah's freshman year, but it was more than Jeremiah this year. He was way better on deep balls this year than Jeremiah. And obviously, him and Jeremiah had the injury problems near the end of the year, and they came back at the end. Wasn't fully healthy in the Michigan game. Both had touchdowns. Actually, all the South Florida Express guys had touchdowns in that. Brandon, Jeremiah, and Carnell. And then Indiana had the touchdown, and then against Miami, really did not do anything. And it's kind of like his career was over. You're like, okay, Carnell Tate was great, was never really he's kind of like if Ibuka never came back for his final year. It's like, yeah, he was great. We're going to really, really miss him. But, we never had the senior year where it's like, okay, this is going to be a lovable character in Ohio State lore forever, kind of like Ibuka. So, yeah, I don't know. He's going to get drafted high. I think he's definitely wide receiver 1, especially at 6'3", 195. His story is great too. It's really sad, but the story's not great, but the triumph of him coming back, and especially in that Northwestern game when they played in Chicago, was that part of the story was awesome. Obviously, the first part of it was tragic, but Carnell Tate had a really good year this year. Definitely the wide receiver 1 in this draft, and will make it the 6th wide receiver in 5 draft classes to be a first-round receiver out of Ohio State, all being consecutive. The next year, Jeremiah will be, so you'll have 7 wide receivers in 6 years, which is awesome. Unless Jeremiah somehow falls to the second round, which I'm telling you he's not. But yeah, Carnell Tate had a decent year this year. Obviously a pretty good year. Again, in the second half of the year, didn't really do much because he was injured. But yeah, I like where Carnell Tate was. And out of all these guys, like I think Carnell Tate is going to be drafted around that probably like 4 to 6 range, probably to either Tennessee, the Cardinals, the Giants, the Browns, kind of that range. So again, not a good team. I'd love them to go to the Giants. I would love that. But yeah, I think Arvell will be the highest at 2 or 3. Carnell will probably be 5 or 6. Sonny will be 7 to 8. Kale will be 9 to 10. And hopefully the chance, this will be the first time a team had 4 guys drafted in one top 10. The closest time this happened was Alabama, and I think maybe 2019, 2018, maybe 2016, where I think it was, it was Waddle, Amari Cooper. I'm trying to think Bama had, I don't remember the players, but they had 3 in the top 10, and then they had 1 in the top 15. Maybe it was Tua. But that was probably the closest. Maybe that was in 2020. But yeah, Bama was probably the closest. And Ohio State could make history, and especially if they have 4 in the first round plus Caden McDonald, that would be 5 first-round picks on this team. And since all these guys were here last year, if you compare that with last year, how many guys were in the first round? That was 9. So out of guys that were starting, Arvell was technically starting. He wasn't, but he kind of was. Plus Jeremiah, who's a bona fide first round, that's 10. 10 for the starters on that 2024 national championship team. You had 10 first round picks, and that's not including Julian because he wasn't playing at all. So you had 10, 11 if you include Julian. But I think that is incredible how good that team was. I think that championship will look a lot better because we'll realize, man, how good that team actually was. But again, that's all I have for you guys today. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. We got to 200, trying to get to 1,000 before the beginning of next season. Remember to also hit the like button. Also, this Saturday at 5 p.m., we are going live for Ohio State versus Indiana, the final game of the basketball regular season. If Ohio State wins, they most likely go to March Madness for the first time in 5 years, so make sure you stay tuned in for that. For halftime of the game, we're bringing people in to call in. We're doing a call-in show, and we can debate football, basketball, whatever. But again, that's all I have for you guys today. I'll see you guys all tomorrow, and as always, thank you.